Alright guys, so I got a lot of Cardinals fans that watch this channel, and I hope I have a lot of baseball fans that watch this channel. But Cardinals, what do you need the most? It's obvious at this point, you guys have to have starting pitching, and well, I've got a team you should trade with, the Miami Marlins, because what do the Miami Marlins need? Well, they need some power in that lineup. They need someone that can hit behind Jorge Soler or in front of Soler with power, particularly from the left-handed side. And Cardinals fans, you guys have a guy named Nolan Gorman that fits that mold perfectly, and the Marlins have pitching for days to trade. So let's talk about a trade between the Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, so as you look up and down that Marlins lineup, and if you look at their roster, you realize their lineup is good, but it's very right-handed heavy. Very right-handed heavy. In the best of times, they might have two lefties in that lineup, Luis Arias and Jesus Sanchez. So a guy like Nolan Gorman would be a perfect fit to fit in behind Soler and realistically just give Soler more pitches to hit, because Soler is not going to get pitched to near as much, especially if the Marlins make it into the postseason, like I think they will. And Nolan Gorman, he's got a lot of pop. I mean, he's got a 485 slug this year, with 19 home runs and 61 RBIs. And at 23 years old, he's still got 5 years of service time after this year. But I'm not done there. I don't think Nolan Gorman's the only piece that should go in this trade, because another thing I noticed on the roster for the Marlins is they need a right-handed reliever, because they've got two good lefties in AJ Puck and Tanner Scott, but they fall short of variety. And if you're going to be in the postseason, again, you do need a good bullpen, and I think the perfect piece is flamethrower Jordan Hicks. Listen to this. These are the average velocities for every one of Jordan Hicks' pitches. For his fastball, 101 miles an hour. For his sinker, 101 miles per hour. Oh, and his slider, 87 to 88 miles an hour. And in the past, Jordan Hicks has got hit around a lot, but this year, he's really turned it around. He's got a 3.76 ERA with a whip at 1.50, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year anyways. He's not owed a lot of money, so he really isn't. Both Nolan Gorman and Hicks are very cheap. They're perfect fits for the Marlins. I think if the Marlins want to make a trade for offense, they're going to do it where they give up a little bit more prospects and take on less money. Now, the Cardinals fans, they're like, what? Nolan Gorman? Okay, Aaron Hicks is fine, but not Nolan Gorman. Listen, there's really a good package here, okay? Edward Cabrera, which has the same amount of service time left as Nolan Gorman. Top pitching prospect Max Meyer. He's the #1 overall prospect in the Marlins system, and he's ready to go as soon as he's back. And Dax Fulton, which is the #3 overall prospect in the Marlins system, #2 pitching prospect behind Max Meyer. So let's start with the best part of this package in Edward Cabrera. Look, you're getting a guy that, again, 25 years old and still has 5 years of service time left after this year. His changeup averages 93 miles an hour. He's got one of the nastiest sinkers in the league that averages about 96 to 98 miles an hour. He's got a fastball at anywhere from 96 to 100 miles an hour, and a slider that touches 90. Watch some highlights of this guy, Cardinals fans. You saw what he did against you guys just the other day. I think he went like 6 innings with 1 earned run. He's nasty, and he'd be a perfect fit at the top end of this rotation. Perfect fit. And you don't have to go out and sign him to a 7 or 8 year, $400,000 million contract like everybody else on the free agent market. No, you get him for cheap for the next 5 years. Now, the next guy is Max Meyer, and Max Meyer did have Tommy John surgery last August. He's reported to be back and healthy by the end of this year. The Cardinals, if you're the Cardinals, this year is not going to matter anymore anyways. So by the time he gets back, this is a guy that profiles as a future ace. And if you have him at the top of your rotation with Edward Cabrera and then your own young prospects, that's something to build off of. Way better than this year. In 2 seasons in the minor leagues, Max Meyer has a 2.77 ERA with 199 strikeouts and 170 innings. So that tells you kind of what you could see in the future now. And this is with AA and AAA before the injury, so it's not like he's in single A putting up these numbers. No, he's major league ready. You just have to have patience till 2024. And Max Meyer is only 24 years old with 6 years of service time left. So the future would look bright, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. And then last but not least, we've got a lefty, Dax Fulton. You gotta have a lefty in the rotation, right? Especially if Jordan Montgomery might leave. But if you make this trade, Jordan Montgomery might decide, hey, maybe I should stay. I've got some guys to work with here. You know, guys that aren't named Steven Matz. That's got to give Jordan Montgomery a headache. It has to. Now, Dax Fulton is 21 years old and he's in AA at the moment. He's profiled to be in the big leagues, or estimated to be in the big leagues, by 2024. That's next year. And at the number 3 overall prospect, he looks pretty good. And Dax really reminds me of a left-handed Adam Wainwright when Adam Wainwright first came up. He's a guy that relies on his pitch break and pitch control, but also throws a nasty curveball, low 70s curveball. He works off that with a low 80s slider, and then he has a fastball sinker that touches 95 to 97. And when you have a guy like Edward Cabrera in your rotation that can get a little wild at times, it would be nice to have a guy in that 3 to 4 spot that relies on break and accuracy to get the job done. If anything, he could turn into a really good long reliever for the bullpen when postseason time comes around next year. But hey, the Cardinals and Marlins, they make great trade partners. Remember a couple years ago when they traded Marcell Ozuna to the Marlins? Yeah, if you haven't seen that trade video, that is where Zach Gallen and Sandy Alcantara were traded in the same trade to the Marlins way back in the day. Check it out if you want to. But they make good trade partners. I think they make good trade partners again this year. Let me know if you guys agree, if it could happen. Anyways, peace. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.